In 1995, the internet was a new frontier. It was a digital wilderness, full of promise but lacking structure. Most people still found local businesses by flipping through the heavy, yellow-paged books dropped on their doorsteps. It was in this environment that two brothers, Elon and Kimball Musk, saw an opportunity. They imagined a future where anyone could find a local pizza place or a nearby mechanic with just a few clicks. They wanted to take the concept of the yellow pages and bring it online. This simple yet revolutionary idea became the foundation for their first company, Global Link Information Network, which would soon be renamed Zip2. The mission was clear: build the software that would help newspapers create online city guides for their readers, complete with business listings, maps, and directions. The context of the mid-1990s was crucial. Newspapers were the undisputed kings of local information. They held the trust of their communities and had deep relationships with local advertisers. However, their business model was entirely print-based. The rise of the web presented both a threat and an opportunity. By partnering with established media giants, they could bridge the gap between print and digital. The early days of Zip2 were a testament to pure, unadulterated hustle. Elon and Kimball worked with a relentless intensity that bordered on obsession. Their lives became a monotonous cycle of coding, making sales calls and fixing bugs. Elon, the lead coder, would often work for days on end, sleeping on a beanbag next to his desk. He wrote the initial software almost entirely by himself, building the system, map data, directions, and business listings. While others in Silicon Valley were enjoying the dot-com boom, the Musk brothers were locked in their small office, fighting for survival one line of code at a time. The market proved to be a formidable challenge. Zip2 was not the only company trying to solve online local directories. Larger, better-funded competitors were already in the space. Companies like CitySearch had more resources, more engineers, and relationships with the very newspapers Zip2 was trying to court. Every sales call was an uphill battle. Kimball, leading sales, faced constant rejection. Executives were skeptical of the internet and hesitant to buy from a tiny, unknown startup. As 1995 bled into 1996, Zip2's financial situation grew increasingly dire. The initial seed money was gone. The company was operating on fumes, and the founders were personally broke. Payroll was a constant worry. The threat of eviction was very real. They were caught in a classic startup paradox. They needed money to grow, but couldn't attract it without growth. Elon and Kimball spent countless hours refining their business plan, pitching venture capitalists on Sand Hill Road. Investor after investor turned them down. Too young, too inexperienced, too competitive a market. Facing the imminent shutdown of their servers, they couldn't pay their few employees. They turned to friends and family. A friend agreed to lend them $28,000. It wasn't venture capital, it was a personal loan, a gesture of faith. Visual. A simple, handwritten IOU note for $28,000, dated mid-1990s. This small sum kept the lights on, rent paid, hosting covered. It was a gasp of air for a drowning company. It bought precious time to keep building, refine the pitch, and pursue real funding. Deployed at the right moment, even small capital can alter a startup's trajectory. The $28,000 reset the clock. Elon redoubled efforts, armed with perseverance and a maturing product. The core of Zip2's offering was its innovative software platform, a comprehensive turnkey solution for newspapers to establish a digital presence. Media companies could quickly launch a branded site featuring local business directories, integrated maps, and point-to-point directions. For a user in 1996, this felt almost magical. It was Zip2's key differentiator. Elon wrote from the ground up, combining data sources into a friendly interface. He sourced business listings, figured out geocoding, and integrated mapping data that wasn't standardized yet. They made it faster, more reliable, and easier for clients to manage. Constant evolution from real user feedback. Breakthroughs came via smaller partnerships, early revenue, and case studies. They learned the realities of integrating online and print sales, the importance of content management, and what local advertisers truly valued. Slowly, The strategy paid off. Larger media took notice. Major deals followed, bringing revenue, credibility, and a national footprint. The company now powered online directories for some of America's biggest media names. As Zip2 gained traction and its partnerships solidified, it appeared on the radar of potential acquirers. The dot-com era was heating up. Incumbents wanted to buy into the boom. A buyer approached the Musk brothers with an offer, around $2 million. For a startup on the brink not long before, and founders living frugally, it was life-changing money. The offer represented an exit, a reward for sleepless nights and relentless work. The dilemma was profound. Instant security, debts repaid, team rewarded. The safe, logical choice. But entrepreneurship is risk-laden, and cashing out is tempting. Many would have taken the deal without a second thought. However, Elon saw a different future. He believed Zip2 was worth far more than $2 million. With a growing client roster, superior tech, and massive, untapped local online advertising potential. Selling now would be premature. Ultimately, they chose not to sell. By 1998, Zip2 had become a significant player in its niche. It had weathered the early storms, secured major clients, and proven the value of its technology. The internet landscape was maturing rapidly. Large tech corporations were scrambling to acquire assets. Compaq Computer, then one of the world's largest PC makers, operated the Alta Vista web portal. To compete, Compaq needed stronger local search and mapping. Zip2 was a perfect fit. Negotiations began in late 1998. Talks were complex and intense. Lawyers, bankers, and executives from both sides. For the team, it was the culmination of 4 years. Stakes towered beyond the earlier $2 million offer. After weeks of diligence, a deal was struck. In February 1999, Compaq announced the acquisition of Zip2 for $307 million in cash, a monumental exit that transformed their lives. The sale was more than a financial windfall. It was a 4-year crash course in entrepreneurship. He gained invaluable lessons that shaped future ventures. He learned the brutality of building from scratch, writing the initial code, pitching skeptics. Product must directly solve a customer problem. Listen, adapt, iterate. Market-driven development. He learned to build and scale. Persistence amid near-death moments, money running out, endless investor rejections, and fierce competition. Rejecting the $2 million taught strategic risk-taking and conviction in the long-term vision. Resilience became part of his operational playbook. He learned corporate finance and deal-making, raising seed, personal loans, and negotiating a 9-figure exit. Starting XCOM, he was no longer a novice. The 22 million-seated XCOM, which merged to become PayPal, funding SpaceX and Tesla later. Zip2's struggles built the foundation of an empire.